Well, people want to know about the beef between Magic and Isiah. I thought I covered this before, but maybe I haven't. I'll do one now that I'm more calm. You know, I think when I did a video back then, I was really hot because it was right around the time Magic dropped that ridiculous book. And Isiah said it best. There's two people. There's Magic Johnson and there's Irvin Johnson. And Magic Johnson is a whole different character that a lot of people don't like. Irvin Johnson is the one that's real, everybody can relate to, and blah, blah, blah. But Magic Johnson is a hypocritical, a-hole. Now, all of this junk started. They were the best of friends since Isiah played high school ball, went to Indiana, and he was from Lansing, Michigan, and they met each other at the basketball game, and he was like, "Man, dude, you just like me, dude. You sick with it, with the crossover with the game. You see the game the same way." And he loved Magic's game because Magic, from a point guard standpoint, saw everything on the court. He had vision. He knew where people were supposed to be. And Isiah was watching the Showtime offense because he's trying to learn. He's trying to get better. So Magic at this time was completely LA'd out. Like everything was from the dressing, wearing bell-bottom pants, crease. He's going all these crazy clubs. Zeke ain't like that. A lot of y'all might think, oh, well, him and Zeke was like that, because, no, they were like brothers. But Zeke didn't like the club scene. Isiah's not a club guy at all. So Magic was different. Magic saw LA and he just fell in love. Isiah was different. The Magic game was basically, we brothers, but it came from a basketball perspective. Nothing like we finna hang out, go to the clubs. You don't see no stories of Isiah in the club getting crazy doing it. He wasn't that kind of person. Magic was that kind of personality because he wanted to blend in with the LA scene. He loved it. Magic wasn't hooked on drugs and nothing. He didn't do all that with everybody else, but he was in the movie star LA scene, and Isiah didn't like it at all. That's why Zeke would come home. And he'll be like, "Man, we'll go to the game, and all that." But, we brothers. But it was a respect of each other's craft of basketball. Wasn't no... People started all that gay stuff because they saw them. They ain't even... You see it now. Every day when somebody do an interview or something like that, they kiss on the side of their cheek. They don't even actually kiss each other. They just do it's just a form of greeting. But if you're a brother from 69th and Green, and you watching TV and you see that, you gonna say, "Ugh, they kissing. Dang, that's probably how he got sick." So, it's the ignorance of it, and that's how it spreads. Ignorance spread like bliss. Word of mouth, then it jumps state. So that's how all that stuff went down. Now Magic for years have been in alleged affairs with many people, NBA players such as Vlade Divac, AC Green. The list went on and on. And this is alleged. And then, people was like, "Oh, well, where did he get the disease from?" Well, the disease came from what everyone, the world seems to know. It's been coming out more and more and more because they want to throw it on Jermaine Stewart. They want to say Jermaine Stewart, the guy who made "We Don't Have to Take Our Clothes Off to Have a Good Time," took his clothes off to have a good time. And it cost him because he ended up dying of AIDS. But he tried to reach out to Magic. Magic wouldn't take his calls. Magic wouldn't talk to him no more, and he died heartbroken on his job because Magic wouldn't keep in contact with him and wouldn't call him back. And during 1987, Jermaine Stewart's song was a hit, and him and Magic Johnson was friends. That part we know. Everything else is alleged. Alleged they were sleeping together, and that's how Magic got it. They were going back and forth, sleeping with each other, and I guess Jermaine Stewart had AIDS, and Magic ended up catching HIV. Allegedly. Now, Magic messed with women too, so it all went in their big circle. Cookie knew his secret, allegedly. So, we have to just follow protocol on this video because we crossing a lot of paths. It was a lot of different things happening with that organization of what was cool and what wasn't cool. So, they had this big old pool where everybody would get in the whirlpool and stuff. Swinger parties. The rumors was spreading throughout the locker rooms. It just wasn't social media back then. Social media was out there and all this stuff would have been over with. Because they couldn't do it like that. It would have to have been entirely different. Back then, people respected other people's privacies. They kept their mouths shut. Now that there's social media, forget about it. That's done. But here's the thing. Magic comes out, says he has HIV. Isiah was the one on the players unit said the NBA was the one that was kicking him out immediately. Like, well, he's got to go. He's a health risk. We got to kick Magic Johnson out the NBA completely. It was immediate retirement. They didn't even give it like a thought of what can we do. It was immediately he had to be shut down. Because they didn't know anything about it. HIV to them was just AIDS, you die. And at that time, it was only like maybe one drug they had for HIV. So at that time, for Magic Johnson, this was a major blow. And the only person that was in his corner that was in the NBA was Isiah Thomas. And one of his alleged lovers, Arsenio Hall, was the only ones really backing him. And he thought he had a friend in Eddie Murphy. Eddie didn't want nothing to do with it. Eddie was standing completely, like, I ain't getting near that. I'm over here with it. So Isiah Thomas is the only one that went to bat for him. The union was going to kick. This is what kills me about the situation. The union was fighting Isiah Thomas. Isiah Thomas was the president of the basketball union at the time for the players. He went and told the NBA, we need to let Magic Johnson in for this game. He showed them all the paperwork to showing that he's safe and fought for him to get on the All-Star team. And they said, that's fine, let's bring him in on the bench. And everybody agreed, okay, that's fine, he'll be on the bench. Let's let him come off the bench. So they're going to have Magic Johnson come off the bench, and somebody else was the starter, I forgot who. And they were mad because he didn't give his spot up to Magic to let Magic start. And he was like, look, I earned my spot. And they was like, man, you'll get your turn to be a starter again in the All-Star game. And man, you supposed to get your spot up, and he didn't want to give it up. And then eventually on the day of the game, he gave up his spot. I can't think of the player's name right off the top of my head, so we just gonna go off, go off of it that way. But putting Magic Johnson in the All-Star game was one of the best things the NBA could have done. Because when they did that, it ended up showing they were the first sport of any sport who have a high-profile athlete contract HIV, and them to show that they were embracing to find a way to try to make a cure when they were against him playing anything, being a part of anything. It was like, oh, we could get it. And it was so much a success, Magic Johnson was the one to head the Olympic team based off that All-Star game. They said, well, this is a good thing. We got so much international response to this and all this sympathy and support. Man, this is a genius idea that the NBA had nothing to do with. Isiah Thomas fought to have that happen for Magic. And then Magic Johnson didn't even stick up for him when they didn't want him, Isiah, to be on the Dream Team. That goes to show you the difference between Isiah and Magic. Magic got two sides. And when that happened, Magic turned his back on Isiah. Yeah, man, what's up? Because he's Magic. He's so hypocritical. We gonna go with whatever's there. Oh, man, we don't need him. Oh, yeah, man, we don't need him. Yeah, I was surprised. Knowing he wouldn't even be there if it wasn't for Isiah. But they were mad at him because Dick Ebersol was mad that he walked off the court. And messed up his passing of the torch moment between the Pistons and Bulls. The reason why he put the Pistons in that position. So he was upset about that, right along with Russ Grant. So they didn't want Isiah on the team anyway. Based off that, like, oh, he let the walk-off and he ruined that. He don't deserve to be on NBC. And David Falk was with them. And David Falk, who was fighting the NBA also because he was going to have them, the NBA was sponsored by, I think it was Reebok or Adidas. One of them were the sponsors for the Olympics, and they kept having a conflict with all the Nike athletes that were represented by David Falk. All his Nike clients that he had there, they were going to make their own dream team and take them out of all the photos. It was a whole big mess, and a compromise had to be made. They couldn't wear the jackets, the Olympic jackets. They had to use the flowers to cover up the logo on the jackets because they would mess up their Nike contract. So there was a whole bunch of mess going on before people even knew what was happening behind the scenes. But David Falk didn't like Isiah Thomas either, because Isiah Thomas had took all the agents and their 10% that they used to get, he had it reduced down to 4%. Because he was president of the union. So he saved a lot of money for players and the NBA by having the agents' purse reduced from 10% down to 4%. That's how Isiah Thomas made enemies, because the agents hated him. But the league, he made them money and he made the players more money. It's like, look, now you got to pay them 4%. You ain't got to pay them no 10%. That's ridiculous. They don't do 10% of work. Why are you paying 10% for? They should get 4%. And when it was reduced to 4%, David Falk was the most living human being on the planet. And once he became the most powerful agent in sports by bringing in Gatorade bringing in Nike, being Michael Jordan's representative. He's got Patrick Ewing, he's got Reggie Miller, he's got all these agents wanted to work with David Falk. And he hated Isiah for what he did with the agents. So any chance he got to stuck it to Isiah, he wanted to. And use his power and influence to do so. It was a lot bigger than what a lot of people know what was really going on. Then you got the they kept making up excuses, the NBA was, as to why Isiah couldn't be on the team. So Jordan, it wasn't completely all his fault. People are like, well, if Jordan would have played, it wasn't really all Jordan's fault. I keep telling people that Jordan was one of the people that led the charge. Like, I don't want to play with him anyway. It had nothing to do with Scott. He just tossed him out to the side. Pippen don't mean nothing. But Jordan was shown the list and was like, no, because they had already told him, like, we're not really in favor of Isiah Thomas being on the team anyway. So if that was one of the problems, don't worry about that. So like Michael said, this came from higher up than him, that Isiah Thomas wouldn't be on the team. And Isiah felt slighted because Magic didn't fight for him. And was like, Magic, you got some pull in this. You really do. Because if Magic talked to Michael and as close as they was, he could have got Isiah on the team. But Magic didn't care. Magic was, yeah, I'm on the team. And I'm playing for the dream team. That's all that mattered. And once again, they insult him by replacing him with John Stockton. What disgracefulness could you do to the man? Then put somebody in there who was his counterpart and say he was as equal as Isiah Thomas. John Stockton is a great point guard. Not a good one, a great point guard. But he's not Isiah Thomas. And Isiah had to make an example of him because of it. Now, Magic Johnson was put in a position because Magic wants to come back into the league. Isiah's going to retire from being president of the NBA committee and everything else. He didn't want no more parts of it. He protected players' interests. There was no strikes. There was nothing, no problems when Isiah was there. Buck Johnson from the Portland Trail Blazers ended up taking over for Isiah. He said, look, you want to run this, Buck? I'm going to put this in your hands. We'll take the players a vote on it. I'll step out, and you step in and be the players' union. Let the players vote. Isiah was done with it. Like, I'm done. Because the players knew Isiah was the smartest out of anybody in the league. That's why he was the head of the players' union. And Magic Johnson didn't want that responsibility. So Magic wants to come back in the league. Isiah didn't want nothing to do with it. Isiah's like, look, I'm stepping down. Somebody else is finna head this. So the league, after the dream team was over, and Magic's all, man, I'm finna come back in the league. I'm finna do all this and I'm finna do that. All of a sudden, now he's mad at Isiah. Isiah steps down from everything and don't want to run it no more, the union. Then here come this rumor out of nowhere. I heard Isiah Thomas, a close friend of ours, said Isiah Thomas said, first he was like, I don't want to ruin this player's career, but this player was going around saying that I got it from being gay, that I was sleeping with a man, and this person who was somebody who I revered as my friend, but I don't want to destroy his career, That's why I'm not going to say his name. Everybody knew you was talking about Isiah. And Isaiah's like, I never said it. And Magic had never even asked him about it. So it was like, if you never asked me about it, why all of a sudden, where did this rumor come from? He never said it. And the thing is when he heard about it, and this is what happened. He was bringing up something back when he first heard about it. Not Isiah was going around telling people Magic was gay. That's not even what it was said. When Isiah was first told about it, because he didn't hear about it from Magic Johnson. Like Magic called him like, I got HIV. And when they told Isiah first about it, somebody called him, a friend, and told Isiah that Magic and said he got the AIDS. They told him he got AIDS. He's like, well, how did he get it? Did he get it like from a gay guy, or like what happened? How did he get it? That's what he was saying. And this was way back before the announcement was made. Not that he going around telling people Magic got it for being gay. But this is how things get misinterpreted, switched around, and people start making up lies. So everything else got switched around. All these lies start coming around because Isiah asked the question, how did he get it? Magic never brought it up to him. Never brought it up to him. And this is the kicker. If you were so mad at Isiah all these years, so you was faking from all the years y'all was cool and y'all done talked it out and everything else. Magic Johnson put Isiah Thomas in there to run his charity camp the same year, like 2013 or something like that. Maybe 2010, I don't know. But in the 2000s, he put him in charge to run his celebrity luncheon he had. Isiah was the main speaker. He invited Isiah to be the main speaker. A month later, 2 months later, he comes out with this book talking about he was the one responsible for keeping Isiah off the Dream Team. It's ridiculous and disrespectful to this man's legacy. And Isiah was like, look, this been happening for far too long, and I got to just deal with it. I'm not finna just sit here and be quiet on it no more. I'm just going to talk about it. It's hypocrisy. And that's just that. And to this day, Isiah is not cool with Magic because of that book. Because if that's how you felt, why would you let me be in charge of your thing? So why are you faking all this time? Why are you being cool with me and buddy then? If this is how you felt. That's why you can't take nothing these celebrities do or athletes who get sucked into their fame. Like Magic, he really believed he was Magic. I'm Magic Johnson. Like, he really believed that. You can't get sucked into that tube of fame. It will swallow you as it swallowed them. They were never the same anymore. None of them. Isiah never was the same as a player. He was on his way out the league. And Magic Johnson, he realized that nobody really was with him but Isiah Thomas. That's why he ended up never coming back and playing a full season. He tried to come back twice in the league. And then Karl Malone, Barkley, Kevin McHale, none of these guys really wanted to play with him full time. They were worried about contracting something. And when the preseason game, when Magic got cut, that's when everybody was like, whoa, now he's cut. The team doctor's afraid of him. Team doctor wouldn't come nowhere near Magic until he put a Band-Aid on. And then the NBA did, and that's when the questions came back up. See, look, he's cut. He's bleeding. In the preseason game. So, I mean, you saw flashes of it. He tried to come back later on, and he came back mid-season. He came back as a coach. Magic loved the game of basketball so much. And he was a great basketball player. But when he's Magic outside of the court, he's a piece of shit. I saw Irvin Johnson once, and that's a genuine, like a good human being. But when you see Magic, you can tell the difference. But when people get older, you just hope they grow out of stuff. So for his sake, I hope he grew out of being the person that he was at the time, because it ruined and threw some taint on his legacy from people that's real that looked at him. It's like, dude, who did you support? When did Magic do something for somebody else? When did that happen? It's always somebody got to do something for Magic, and Magic don't reciprocate the love. I mean, if he did, y'all got to let me know, because it's been always about Magic. Now, on the b-ball court, he was a bad boy. I can't take nothing from him. But his other things, you can't. Let me get out of here again. My football games are coming on, and this is taking up a lot of my time. I'm out.